when it comes to getting intimate with a guy, most of the attention usually goes to one main event. You know what I'm talking about? The star of the show. But here's the thing, every star has a supporting cast. And in this case, that supporting role can completely steal the spotlight if you know how to use it right. Yes, I'm talking about his balls, his boys, his crown jewels, the dynamic duo. Now, I know some of you are already smiling because you've maybe experimented a little, and others might be thinking, oh no, I don't go near those. They seem way too sensitive. And you're right, they are sensitive. That's why most women get nervous about touching them. Or if they do, they stick to the safest, most boring touches possible. But let me tell you, ignoring them is like leaving half the piano untouched while trying to play a masterpiece. You're missing a chance to create music that makes him melt. Here's the real secret: when you learn how to handle that area with confidence and a little creativity, you unlock a new level of pleasure for him and power for you. Because let's face it, men love when a woman is bold enough to explore, but soft enough to make it feel amazing. It's not just physical, it's psychological. He feels cared for, teased, desired. And that combination, that's what makes him completely hooked on you. When it comes to giving his boys some love, the very first rule is this: be gentle. If you rush in too fast, too rough, or too eager, you'll shut the whole experience down before it even begins. Think about it. This is the most sensitive part of his body. For a guy, that area is like a control center of nerves. And while the right touch can make him lose his mind with pleasure, the wrong touch can make him wince and pull away. That's why starting slow and soft isn't just nice, it's essential. Now, here's the sexy part. Gentleness doesn't have to feel timid. In fact, when you approach it the right way, it feels confident, deliberate, and teasing. Imagine you're unwrapping a gift you've been waiting all night to open. You don't rip into it, you savor it. You let your fingers graze the edges, you enjoy the anticipation. That's exactly the mindset you want when you first touch his boys. Light fingertips, maybe even the back of your hand brushing against them, as if it's almost an accident. That little "whoops, did I just do that?" moment can drive him crazy because it feels spontaneous and playful. Gentle doesn't just mean pressure, it also means pace. Take your time. You don't need to jump straight into full strokes. Let your hand linger, let your touch hover over, and most importantly, let him feel your intent. A slow introduction tells his body, relax, I've got you. And once he feels safe in your hands, that's when the real fun begins. Think of it this way: his body is scanning every little movement, deciding if he should tense up or let go. If your first contact is soft, slow, and exploratory, his system gets the signal to release, to lean into the sensation instead of guarding against it. And the more relaxed he is, the more sensitive he becomes. That means every little stroke you give after that feels amplified. Here's another little trick: you use your breathing to set the tone. As you touch him lightly, let out a slow, deep exhale. That rhythm not only calms him, it also sets a sensual mood. He'll feel the softness in your touch, but he'll also pick up on the energy of your body language. You're not rushing, you're not trying too hard, you're just enjoying. And when you enjoy it, he does too. Don't underestimate the power of teasing touches either. A feather light graze across the skin can be more electrifying than a firm hold, especially at the beginning. Imagine tracing your fingertips around the edges, almost touching, but not quite committing. That level of restraint builds anticipation, and anticipation is half the game. You're showing him, I could go further if I want to, but for now I'm going to make you wait. That patience makes him crave your next move even more. Another reason to be gentle: it creates contrast. If you start soft, you have somewhere to go later. If you begin with intensity, there's no room to build. Think of it like music. You don't open with the loudest note. You start quiet, build the rhythm, and then you let it explode. That way, when you do increase pressure or speed, it feels like a climax, not just more of the same. And finally, remember this: being gentle isn't just a technique, it's a message. It tells him, I care about your pleasure. I'm not just rushing to get somewhere. I'm savoring every part of you. That's the kind of energy that makes a man feel safe enough to let go and turned on enough to never forget the experience. So be gentle at the start, not because you have to, but because it sets the stage for everything else. It's the first note in the song, and when you hit it just right, the rest of the melody flows naturally. Once you've introduced yourself gently and set the tone with soft, teasing touches, the next step is what I like to call the lift and cradle. And trust me, this move alone can make a guy completely melt in your hands. Here's the thing about his boys, they're not just there for decoration. They're heavy with nerves, sensitive in the best way possible, and they love the feeling of being supported. When you slide your hands underneath, cup them softly, and give them that gentle lift, it's like you're saying, I've got you. You're safe. You can let go. That sense of security allows him to relax even more deeply into your touch. And when he relaxes, the pleasure multiplies. But let's be clear, this isn't about squeezing or gripping. Think of it more like holding a rare jewel in your palms. You don't press down on it. You don't shake it around. You simply hold, cradle, and let the weight rest naturally in your hands. That alone can feel incredibly soothing, almost therapeutic. It's a reminder that you're not in a hurry. You're here to enjoy him fully, to savor every moment. What's powerful about this move is that it taps into something psychological too. Men are rarely handled in this way. Most women either avoid his balls altogether, or they only give them a quick brush as if they're scared of doing it wrong. When you take the time to hold them, to actually cradle them with confidence, it sends him a message. I'm comfortable with you. I'm not afraid of any part of you. That kind of acceptance is intoxicating to a man. Now let's talk technique. When you cradle, don't keep your hands frozen in one position. Instead, let your thumbs lightly stroke upward as if you're massaging the tension out of him. You can trace little circles with your fingertips or slowly glide up and down, creating a gentle rocking motion. Think about waves in the ocean, smooth, consistent, soothing. That rhythm will put him in a trance. Another delicious way to play with this move is to combine the cradle with temperature contrast. Warm up your hands first, rub them together, blow gently on them, or even hold them against your body for a moment. When your warm palms cup him, the sensation is unbelievably comforting. From there, you can add the light tickle of your nails or a cooler stroke from your fingertips, creating layers of sensation he won't know how to process in the best way. And don't forget the power of your gaze. When you're cradling him, look up at him, lock eyes, or let a mischievous smile play on your lips. That eye contact adds an intimacy that makes the physical touch 10 times more powerful. It's no longer just his body being stimulated. It's his heart, his ego, his imagination. He sees you enjoying him, taking control, and he feels cherished. Here's something else to remember. The lift and cradle isn't just about his pleasure. It also gives you control. You're the one holding him, guiding the pace, deciding when to stroke, when to pause, when to tease. That power dynamic, when handled with warmth and playfulness, drives him wild. That because he's not just surrendering his body, he's surrendering his trust. And that's the real magic of this move. The physical sensation is amazing, yes, but the emotional message is what makes it unforgettable. You're telling him, I value every part of you. I want every part of you, and I'm not afraid to take care of you completely. Most men never experience that level of attention, which means if you give it to him, he won't stop thinking about you. So remember, the lift and cradle isn't complicated. It's not about fancy tricks. It's about slowing down, being present, and holding him like he's the most valuable thing in the world. Do that, and he'll feel a kind of pleasure and connection that he's not going to find anywhere else. Now that you've built the trust with gentleness and given him that soothing lift and cradle, it's time to spice things up. This is where the fun really begins, mixing up your strokes. Because here's the truth, no guy wants the same motion over and over like a broken record. Variety is what keeps him on edge, keeps his body guessing, and makes the whole experience feel like an adventure instead of a routine. Think about it like this. Imagine listening to a song that only had one note on repeat. It might be nice for a second, but after a while, boring. His body works the same way. If you only rub in one direction or one speed, he'll get used to it and the intensity will fade. But if you keep switching things up, changing the pace, the pressure, the angle, you keep surprising his nervous system, and surprise equals excitement. So let's talk about some different strokes you can play with. Start with the rolling stroke. This is where you let his boys move gently in your palm, rolling them side to side as if you're playing with precious marbles. The key is keeping it smooth and slow, almost hypnotic. This stroke makes him sink deeper into relaxation. Then there's the upward stroke. Imagine your fingers gliding upward from the base, lightly brushing across him like you're sending energy upward through his whole body. Done in rhythm, this can make his chest rise and his breathing deepen, almost like you're pulling waves of pleasure through him. Next up, the feather touch. use just your fingertips or nails to graze along the surface. It's barely there, teasing, almost maddening. This one is about driving him crazy with anticipation. It's not about pressure, it's about whispering to his skin, making him crave more. And don't be afraid to alternate between firm and light. For example, after a few seconds of feather touches, switch to a slow, steady massage with the whole hand. That contrast, going from almost nothing to a warm, grounding hold, feels like a jolt of pleasure to his system. His body doesn't know what's coming next, which means his mind stays fully engaged in the moment. Another fun trick is the circular motion. Use your thumbs or fingers to make small circles, almost like you're drawing invisible patterns. The key here is not to rush. Slow circles can be incredibly soothing, while faster, tighter ones can build intensity. Again, it's all about mixing it up so it never feels repetitive. Here's where you can get creative, combined strokes. For instance, cradle him gently with one hand, while using your other hand to feather stroke or trace circles. The double layered sensation is mind-blowing because his brain can't focus on just one thing. He's overloaded in the best way. And while you're at it, sync your strokes with whatever else you're doing. If you're kissing his neck, match the rhythm of your lips with the rhythm of your hands. If your body is moving against his, let your strokes follow that tempo. When everything connects, it feels less like random touches and more like a full body symphony. The golden rule here, read his reactions. Every guy has his preferences. Some will love the rolling stroke more, others will crave the feather light tease. Watch how his body responds, his breathing, the sounds he makes, the way he arches or presses into you. That feedback is your cheat sheet. The more you pay attention, the more perfectly you can tailor your strokes to what drives him crazy. Here's the sexy truth when you mix up your strokes. You're not just giving him variety, you're showing him that you know how to keep things exciting. Most women stop at the basics, but you're creating a roller coaster of sensation that he never wants to get off. That's what makes you unforgettable. So don't be predictable, be playful, be creative, and keep him guessing, because the more you mix it up, the more addicted he'll become, not just to your touch, but to you. All right, so by now you've been gentle, you've given the lift and cradle, and you've started mixing up your strokes. But here's where you take it from, oh, that feels nice, to holy hell, she's reading my mind, and that's by syncing it with the rhythm. What I mean by that, simple. Every guy's body responds to rhythm. Pleasure isn't just about what you do with your hands, it's about how you time it. When your touches move in sync with the rest of the action, whether that's kissing, grinding, or something more, suddenly it feels like everything is connected. His whole body becomes one big wave of sensation instead of just a bunch of separate little sparks. Think about it. If you're stroking his boys one way while your lips or body are moving in a totally different rhythm, it can feel scattered, even distracting. But when you match the tempo, that's when the magic happens. It's like you're the DJ of his body, dropping the beat, setting the pace, and he can't help but lose himself in it. So here's how to pull it off. Start by tuning into whatever's already happening. If his breathing is slow and deep, let your hands follow that pace. If things are heating up and his body's moving faster, let your strokes pick up speed to match. The goal is to make your touch feel like an extension of everything else he's experiencing. That synchronicity makes the pleasure flow naturally instead of feeling disjointed. Here's a fun trick. If you're kissing him, time your strokes with the rhythm of your lips. Every deep kiss gets a matching stroke. Every playful nibble gets a teasing graze. That connection will make him feel like you're orchestrating the entire moment. Another variation is syncing to your own body. If you're on top, let your strokes match the movement of your hips. If you're grinding against him, let your hands move in the same wave-like pattern. Suddenly, every part of your body is working together, building the intensity like a rising song. Now, don't confuse sync with robotic. You don't want to look like you're counting beats in your head. The sexiest rhythm is the one that feels natural, fluid, alive. Think of it like dancing. You don't memorize the steps, you just feel the music and move with it. In this case, his body is the music and you're dancing along with your hands. And here's where it gets really powerful once you've synced up and got him in a rhythm. Break it on purpose. Switch suddenly, slow it down, pause, or throw in a totally different stroke. That tiny disruption makes his body crave the rhythm even more when you bring it back. It's like teasing him with silence before dropping the beat again. That push-pull dynamic drives men insane because it keeps them on edge and begging for more. Psychologically, Syncing with rhythm also does something deeper. It tells him you're fully present. You're not in your head worrying about, am I doing this right? You're tuned into him. And when a man feels that level of connection, it's not just pleasure he's feeling, it's intimacy. That's what makes your touch unforgettable, because it's not just technique, it's chemistry. So remember, pleasure isn't random, it's rhythm. Sync your hands with the flow of the moment, let your body and his body move as one, and then play with breaking and rebuilding that rhythm. That's how you take a good ball massage and turn it into an experience that blows his mind. Here's the truth, bro, no matter how many tips, tricks, or techniques I give you, the most powerful guide you ever have isn't me, it's him. Every guy is wired a little differently down there. Some love a firmer touch, some only want feather light strokes, and others are somewhere in between. That's why the final key to blowing his mind isn't just about what you do, it's about how well you read his body. When you're massaging his boys, think of yourself like a DJ at a party. You've got the music, you've got the crowd, but the real skill is knowing when to turn the volume up, when to drop the bass, and when to slow it down. You don't just play one track on repeat. You watch how people react and you adjust. His reactions are your feedback loop. So what should you be paying attention to? First, his breathing. That's your biggest giveaway. If his breathing gets deeper, heavier, or faster, that's his body telling you, yes, that's it, keep going. If it goes flat or he suddenly holds his breath in a tense way, that might mean you need to ease up or change your pace. Next, listen to his sounds. Moans, groans, little sighs, those aren't just noise, they're signals. If you're getting more sound, it means you're hitting the sweet spot. If he goes quiet or distracted, that might be a sign to switch things up. But the clearest sign, his body language. Watch the way his hips move, how his muscles tighten, how he leans into you. If he pushes closer, arches up, or grips the sheets, you've found gold. If he pulls back or shifts away, it's time to adjust. The more tuned in you are, the more he feels like you get him on a deep level. Now here's the sexy part. When you respond to his reactions, it doesn't just feel good physically, it blows his mind emotionally. Most women are too caught up in their own heads. Am I doing this right? Does this feel weird? But when you're fully present, watching him, listening to his body, you show him that you're not just doing some random technique, you're making it his. That personalization makes him feel special, seen, desired. And don't forget, you can also play with his reactions. Sometimes when you find something that's clearly working, don't give it all at once. Slow it down, pause, or switch just when he's getting lost in it. That teasing, reading his reaction, and then pulling back a little creates an addictive push. Pull that will have him craving more. So here's the bottom line. The best ball massage isn't about memorizing steps. It's about presence, connection, and adaptability. Watch his breathing, his sounds, his movements. Adjust based on his signals. And when you master that, you'll not only blow his mind, you'll make him feel like you were made for him. So ladies, here's the deal. Massaging his boys isn't about some secret trick or complicated routine. It's about confidence, presence, and playfulness. Start gentle. Show him you know how to handle the most sensitive part of his body with care. Then cradle him. Give that feeling of security he didn't even know he craved. Mix up your strokes so he never gets bored. Sync your rhythm so his whole body feels like it's moving with you. And most importantly, watch his reaction so you can read him like a book. When you do this, it's not just a physical massage. It's an experience. You're telling him, I see you, I want you, and I know how to drive you wild. And let me tell you, once you unlock that, he'll never forget it. You'll be the woman he compares everyone else to. Now here's your call to action. Don't just listen to this and think, wow, that sounds fun. Try it, experiment, play. Surprise him tonight with a little extra attention down there and watch how he melts in your hands. And if you want more tips like this, sexy, playful, but practical, make sure you subscribe because I've got plenty